Joel Fritz here with Caterpillar Small Dozer Group. Today we'd like to introduce you to the new D5K2 Tier 4 final emission tractor. Let's step over and take a look at the machine. If you've got work where you need a lot of versatility and you're doing precision finish grade type work, this is the solution to meet your job site needs. Let's start out up at the blade. Several features that we had on the former model we've carried over to this model also, like power pitch. Just like a motor grader, you're able now to pitch the blade forward and to the rear, just like on a motor grader. So with that feature, the operator can actually pitch the blade from the operator's seat whenever he's starting to load the blade, rock the blade forward all the way to get good blade penetration to load the blade quickly. Then after you have the blade loaded, you can simply press a button, lay the blade back, and carry the most material that the blade is capable of through your doze cycle to the area you want to spread the material out or stockpile it. One of the operating costs on a track type tractor is the cutting edge. At Caterpillar, we're always striving to reduce the customer's operating cost. So we've come out with some new cutting edges that we call precision cutting edges, to where you have 20% more wear material to help generate a lower operating cost. And you can see from the profile of the cutting edge here, it looks a little bit different. The front profile of the cutting edge is not flat. Basically, it has some ridges in it, and we have tried to place the material in the area where the cutting edge wears, which is right in here. Also, they have indicators on the blade to let you know when you've reached the point of when you need to replace the blade, and that's basically in the center of this little groove on the cutting edge. So when you wear to this point, you would simply take it off, rotate the cutting edge, flip it over, and wear the other side. All of this is part of us trying to help the customer lower the operating cost of the cutting edge. Another feature that we have had on the machine is stable blade. Let's talk about stable blade just for a little while. If you're talking to an operator and you ask him, how does he know when he's finished grading whether to raise or lower that blade? What does he say most of the time? Most of the time, an experienced operator will say, I grade by the seat of my pants. Now, when we first hear that, that sounds awfully funny and corny, but actually, it's very true. That's exactly the way he's grading with the machine. And what he's saying is, I'm using the seat of my pants to feel the pitch of the machine fore and aft. And that's what we've tried to do at Caterpillar, is replicate that feeling the operator has when he's running the machine by using some technology. We call this feature stable blade. We do this by placing a sensor up on the C-frame or blade of the machine to actually sense the machine pitching forward and aft, and use that input along with the operator's manual input to the dozer control to allow him to provide the smoothest finished grade when he's in the manual mode of doing his finished grade type work. One important thing to remember about stable blade is that it does not grade to a target. Stable blade does not grade to a target like a grade control system such as AccuGrade. What stable blade is trying to do is simply allow the operator to grade a smooth surface, whether he's on flat ground, going up a hill, or going down a hill. While we're primarily focused on the new D5K2 today, most all the features that we're talking about also apply to the new D3K2 and the new D4K2 Tier 4 final machines. Another intelligent feature we have on the new D5K2 is called Slope Assist. What Slope Assist does for you, if you're operating in a situation where you haven't invested in a grade control system like AccuGrade yet, this allows the operator to actually use an automatic system on the machine to actually create or produce a slope that is desirable. And it does it automatically without the use of a specific grade control system like AccuGrade. Let's talk a little bit about how Slope Assist actually works. The way the system works is when the operator desires to place the blade slope control into automatic mode, he simply presses a button on the right-hand joystick that cuts the system on, and the machine will grade to whatever particular slope the blade is set at that point in time. Each pass that's made, the machine will continue to grade to that last slope position of the blade. This is a very easy feature. It's a low-cost investment the operator can have on the machine without having to invest in the more expensive grade control system, AccuGrade. At Caterpillar, we're excited to introduce our new CAT Grade with 3D feature. This is basically our integrated 3D GPS solution for all of our tractors from the D3 all the way up to the D9T. This feature allows the operator to do all of his work with all the components on the machine integrated into the machine as one system. No longer do you have to worry about taking receivers or mask off at the end of the day. They are permanently attached to the machine. All you have to do is just load your job file onto the display of the tractor and you're ready to go. The benefit of this is improved productivity, just like with any other GPS system. And we also have the supportability from our SiteTech dealerships at our CAT dealers to help be sure that you have all the support you need to run this system. Let's now talk about the power that's available to do this work on the D5K2. The new D5K2 is now equipped with a CAT C4.4 engine. It does meet the United States EPA Tier 4 final emission requirements and also the Stage 4 European requirement. On our Tier 4 final solution, we were able to do away with the DPF filter that we had on the former model, and now we are using SCR solution to meet our emission requirements along with DEF. So we have added one component to the emission solution on the Tier 4 final, and that is the use of DEF. Also, standard equipment on our engine is hydraulic lifters. This removes the requirement to adjust your valve lifters on the engine, reduces your owning and operating costs. And still with this machine, as you can see inside the engine compartment, there's plenty of room to do any type service work or maintenance on top of the engine deck of this machine. All of the emission components are actually located up on the bottom side of the hood, clear and out of the way, giving you good maintenance access to your engine. Excellent serviceability with the machine as far as engine goes, access to your oil dipstick, oil fill, the crankcase ventilation filter, and also your fuel filters are located very easily at ground level on the new D5K2. Also as an option is a heater element circuit where you can plug in power here to actually keep that engine warm if you're running it in a very cold environment. And easy maintenance access to your engine air filter, and then also to the ether system if so equipped. As we mentioned earlier, the new D5K2 does meet Tier 4 final emission requirements in the United States and also Stage 4 emission requirements in Europe. As part of that solution, we are using DEF, and access to the DEF tank is located to the left rear of the machine. Simply just remove this blue cap, pour in your DEF fluid, and off you go. As we mentioned earlier, the new D5K2 meets Tier 4 final emission requirements. Part of the shutdown process involves a new amber indication light that's located on the right-hand rear access door area. When the amber light is illuminated, please do not disconnect the power until the amber light is off. On the new D5K2, we've also improved the operating efficiency of the machine in the area of the powertrain or hydrostatic transmission. Now we can take advantage of being more efficient with the power of the engine we just spoke about, can get the power down to the ground or to the track. With that, we now have a new feature we call automatic traction control. If you remember on the former model of D5K2, this was a manual type system, which the operator had to press a button to actually engage the traction control, which was located on the left-hand joystick. Now, on the new D5K2, in an effort to try to make the machine a lot less effort to operate, automatic traction control functions continuously without operator interaction. The benefit of automatic traction control is one, less track slippage, which generates better fuel economy, and then secondly, less track wear because you're not slipping the track as much and not wearing your undercarriage out needlessly. The final drive right here is what absorbs all of the shock loading that's going through the powertrain on a dozer, because all the machine does continuously all day is try to push material. And all of these shock loads are transferred back through the powertrain system, the mainframe, and this is the area that absorbs all that shock load. At Caterpillar, one of the things we have put as a priority is to use Planetary final drives on all of our machines. The benefit of the Planetary final drive is that it spreads the load out amongst several different gears instead of just point loading on two separate gears and a spur gear type final drive reduction. This gives you a lot more value on your machine, a lot lower operating costs, and less downtime. One of the key differentiators on a dozer is the type undercarriage. We offer two different undercarriage configurations on the new D5K2 tractor. That is the XL and the LGP. The LGP, as you see right here, is equipped with a wider gauge, which allows you to utilize wider track shoes, which can be used in soft underfoot conditions and also provides more side-to-side stability. The D5K2 that you see here, LGP, is equipped with 26-inch wide pads. For more general type applications, we offer the D5K2 XL, which is a little bit narrower gauge machine and is equipped with 20-inch track shoes for more general purpose type applications. Both machines have the same amount of track on the ground fore to aft. Next, let's step up into the office of the new D5K2. As you can see, we're always keeping 3 points of contact, very easy access to climb up right up on the track of the machine. Plenty of wide door open space right here, even for a big person like myself to climb into the cab, very easily turn around and set down. One of the things that's very important at a dozer when you're doing grading work is the ability to have good line of sight down to the corner of the blades. The new D5K2 is no exception. Great visibility down to each corner and then also over the top of the hood out towards the front in the direction that you're doing your work. Also around to the corners to have good accessibility to the rest of the job site. And then also easy access to your windows, which you can open up, allow good cross ventilation across your back of the machine on those real hot days or when you need to be speaking to another employee. As we talked about earlier, technology is really playing a large role in the construction industry today. Another one of the technologies that really can provide a lot of value to you, the customer, is telematics. Telematics is a feature that allows you to gain access to machine location, machine health, amount of fuel that's on board the machine, and things of that nature. On the new D5K2, our telematics product, which is called Product Link, is now standard equipment on all new D5K2 dozers. Fuel economy is so key in the construction industry today. It's a major part of your operating costs. And with the new D5K2, it has a clear advantage in this area as far as fuel economy. With using the Eco mode, you can actually get up to a 20% improvement in fuel economy, and translated, you're talking somewhere between 2.1 and 2.5 gallons per hour while running this D5K2 actually on the job site. That is great fuel economy and a clear differentiator to other machines that are out there in the marketplace today. It is really nice up here in the cab on the new D5K2. Hands down, this is the nicest cab and most comfortable cab in the Dozer business today. Let's talk about a few of the features here that makes it so comfortable for the operator in this cab. As you can see when I got in, it's air suspension seats, standard equipment on the new D5K2. Also adjustable seat mounted controls. When we mean seat mounted controls, it means the controls are mounted to the seat and they actually move with the seat. If you'll notice, my hands drop down very easily right on top of the controls, very ergonomic, very natural for the operator to use these to get the machine to do what he wants to. No tools required to adjust your armrest on the D5K2. You can see just by simply lifting the latch on the left or right hand armrest, you can very easily adjust those to where they're comfortable regardless of what size operator you may be. Also, for those very hot days, we have a ventilated seat option, which actually blows air up through the seat cushions, and also the back can be actuated by the buttons underneath the seat cushion. And also we have a heated seat option to help keep the operator comfortable on those colder winter days. Some changes that we've made to make the operator even more comfortable on the new D5K2 is the location of the air outlet for your heating and air. You'll notice these are now located over here on the sides, which actually puts that point of air exit closer and more directly on you, the operator, to make you more comfortable as you're doing your work during the day. From an operator's perspective, it's always important to know what's going on behind the machine. Traditionally, operators have had one of two ways to do that: glancing up in the rearview mirror or turning their head to the right and looking over their shoulder or their left to see what's going on in the rear. We've recently introduced a better solution to this, which is called our rearview camera. Now the operator can simply look at the dash of the machine and via the camera that's mounted on the rear of the machine see what's going on to the rear as he's working without having to look up in the mirror or turn and look over his shoulder. There's an awful lot of value with the new D5K2 Tier 4 Final machine. Let's recap some of the things we talked about earlier. First off, we talked about the power pitch and the capability that the operator now has to adjust blade pitch much like a moldboard from the operator's compartment. He can pitch the blade forward when he wants to load the blade. After the blade gets good and full, you can lay it back and carry the most amount of material to where you want to spread it or stockpile it. Helps be a lot more productive and helps make you a lot more money. We talked about stable blade and the capability it has to allow the operator to do a much better job at his finished grade type work. The fact that it basically replicates the same principle Dozer operators have been using for years in grading by the seat of the pants. Stable blade replicates that. We also talked about slope indicate and the operator's ability now to, whenever he's on a job site and he's trying to determine what slope he may be on, without any other type of grade control equipment on the machine, standard equipment, that operator now can look at the dash on that tractor and determine what slope the machine is at to be sure that he's grading in the correct manner. We talked about slope assist, standard equipment here again on the new D5K2, which is an automatic feature that allows the operator to grade to a specific slope target automatically. We talked about the lower cost that is associated with the different undercarriage options we have available with the System 1 undercarriage and also salt. If you're bushing limited, maybe System 1 is the best solution. If you are not, salt could be the lowest cost per hour for you. We talked about the value of this machine now meeting Tier 4 final emission requirements. We no longer have a DPF that is part of the solution, but we are using SCR type technology, which does include DEF or diesel emission fluid. Remember, we climbed up into that office that you work in all day long in that cab. One of the nicest cabs in the industry. We talked about a lot of the features there, such as the air suspension seat, standard equipment, the ventilated seat and heated seat, which is optional, and also the visibility out to your corners of the blade, which is the key area that you actually look at when you're doing work. You don't look at over the top of the hood, but out to those corners. D5K2 has excellent visibility out to those areas. We talked about the value in the final drive and the ability to a Planetary final drive being able to absorb the shock loads that come through the machine. So all in all, there's a tremendous amount of value in this machine to help you get your work done more efficiently and more profitably. And at Caterpillar, that is our objective. We want to provide you the best solution that meets your needs to help you be the most profitable possible. We appreciate your time today and allowing us to share with you the new D5K2 dozer. And we would like for you to take the opportunity to visit one of our local CAT dealers and take the opportunity to demonstrate one of the new CAT D5K2s on your job site.